question. Like, you hope every series that goes by for Alpha, they learn something new, which is the whole point, right? If you can improve every series, it's generally you are still winning in a sense, but very, very tough matchup to have to go up against for your second series.
Yeah, it's certainly not easy. I mean, if you think about that previous match Alpha played up against SKG, even SKG had to go straight to the Wolves with Shopify Rebellion. You know,
Yeah.
It's it's just the way the dice rolled sometimes in NA. You get these really top contending teams as your opponents as a promotee, and you just got to do your own thing. You know, you play the game as you did to climb up into Div 1, although, again, for Alpha, this is a different roster, so overall, I think it's just really getting the experience in for a roster like this and just learning. Now, we'll see how much they can bring out. Again, for Alpha, if you do get off to a running start somehow on your Storm, then that's the launching point. You can play pretty fast. You can enable your Alk to kind of hit the Radiance timing, just get that farm going. You do have some combination with a Storm, like Vortex into Arrow is always there. They've left the Rune alone.
Yeah, they have.
Tomato will pick it up.
That's a 2-for-1 trade. There was a deny from Ari on one of the bounties. Very nice little deny there from the Rubik. So it is going to be an advantage the way of TSM in terms of net worth to get started. And a little bit upsetting for Alpha, considering they did just have a rune sitting there that nobody was around. So maybe just kind of the nerves kicking in and them not wanting to try and go for it. We are, of course, going to start off with the mid lane. You are going to have Steel against Brawl here. So the Storm versus the Quap matchup. As I kind of expect, John, I believe the Quap will have an advantage as the levels do go up. Naturally, once you hit level 6 as the Storm, it's not so much of an advantage anymore. But for now, I think Brawl's going to have a pretty good time.
Yeah, it holds steady. By the time you hit level 2, level 3 as the Quap, you tend to just really take over on top of the Storm. Really just depends on how well the Storm can kind of pull in and out, work the creep wave, work the aggro to prevent the Quap to walk up, get free Scream of Pain harassment along with a Shadow Strike. You don't really have too much counterplay on the Storm. Again, the matchup's just not naturally the easiest for Storm, so just gonna have to watch yourself. Rotations can feel good as well. Alpha does have the threat with Mirana, so Power Rune control is something that Alpha should try to lean into here.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, Takaya, last time we saw him, especially he was playing CM, I think in game 1 of that series, and he was just looking fantastic. A lot of roaming on that Crystal Maiden that happened, and I was very impressed by it. You'd imagine a hero like Mirana should be able to do a lot more instead of a CM, for example. And what we're going to see is Takaya taking a fair bit of harassment here from Ari. Kasane going to pull the creep wave over as well. So they don't really want the matchup with the Alchemist right now, considering Beastmaster, he doesn't particularly enjoy the acid spray being placed on the creep wave. So instead, they'll just split up the creeps altogether. I don't think Alpha will mind this too much either. So they'll still be able to farm freely on Blessed Kid. So I think they're more than happy with this.
Yeah, you're not slowing down. You're not pressuring that Alk in this lane. There's always a little bit of a threat to get run down, especially just feeding Axe's way to a Alchemist, never the best in the world. So you're just trying to mitigate some losses here for the side of TSM. Again, does lead to a bit of a slower start. They are starting to get a little bit aggressive on Satoshi when the Cookie does bail out. Can't fully commit. That is one thing you do lack when you have the Venomancer support. Controls mainly on Tomato, and he doesn't have that value point in Boundless to really try to look for the kill opportunities in lane. But the Monkey is off to a much freer lane, even in comparison to that Alk. So you're more than happy, again, just playing a farming game here.
There you are. It's kind of the thing, like Satoshi's finding no farm as he's going to get jumped on. Braxy doesn't have enough mana for the Cookie right now, is waiting for another 4 mana, but it's too late. He had 81 mana and he needed 4 more to get a Cookie off. I'm not sure if it would have even made a difference because you had the Boundless Strike anyway from Tomato, but this bottom lane, it's just going to be hellish. Like against Veno and Monkey King, there's just no escape once they make the initial jump.
You have to really be on point with the Cookie. And we saw Braxy commit it earlier to try to bail out top. Blessed Kid.
In trouble. Axe is going to take care of it. Kasane able to secure the kill very easily as Even Ari was chasing down Tukaya, but ran out of mana for the Fade Bolt. So Tukaya, he's going to be able to survive, but both side lanes right now going pretty atrociously for Alpha.
Yeah, which, again, you'd more than likely expect with this kind of draft coming out from TSM. It does feel like they've emphasized the lanes quite a fair bit, going for that Venomancer support and just getting the rundown. I think for Alpha, this isn't too bad as long as they stem the bleeding. You know, don't give these open opportunities out for TSM to find these laning kills. Ensure that Blessed Kid isn't shoved out of his top lane. Keep trying to farm. You've got a pretty, well, I say even, you're a creep wave behind now in the Storm, so it's not as good of a feeling there. But you have that launching point in your Storm still left. Once he can maybe get a rotation out, you've got to play with that Mirana. Like, Mirana Storm has to shine in this game to get that momentum going for Alpha.
I think the big problem is Tukaya can't really afford to leave the Alchemist at the moment. Like, Blessed Kid is slowly stacking up his jungle. He's trying to get it done that way, just the catch-up farm that he requires, but for poor old Tukaya and the Mirana, he just can't leave, because Blessed Kid just can't farm if he does. So they go in again, Blessed Kid. They go for a run, meanwhile, bottom lane, Braxy's in trouble. Gale's gonna land, and Braxy's got the high five up, and rightfully so, because he is probably just dead. Tomato does secure the kill very easily on the Monkey King. There'll be another one for the MK, and there's just no slowing him down at this point. Tomato, already having a free lane, is just going to continue dominating.
I mean, they did pick the Underlord really early on, leaving the Monkey King in the pool, and it's a Gale.
I actually missed. Could have sworn it went right through the Underlord, but never mind.
It would have been a nice kill to just keep building up on. It does happen. But, I mean, you've got a 3-0 to start, your 3k up on TSM. Even if you don't kill off Satoshi, you still have that free lane for your Monkey, so you don't really have too many concerns. Even an early rotation to try to secure those 6-minute runes as well. The illusion being pinged around.
Oh, Braxy in trouble now. Brawl's going to jump in. Nice little juke on the arrow. Does have Sonic Wave if he needs it. It looks like he really wants to hold out on that. They will just take it. Ari, he'll pick it up for himself on the Rubik. So Brawl just not willing to pop the Sonic Wave for a Snapfire kill, which is fair enough. Could come in handy very, very soon. Instead, he'll go right back to harassing Steel out of the laning stage. Luckily for Steel, he has hit level 6 now. So he's not really in threat of dying to the Quap. So he can always just zip to juke the Sonic Wave, but he is behind right now, John, and he's not having a good time on this Storm, to say the least.
Oh, even Blessed Kid, he's not having a great time up top.
Oh no. Stun is out, it's not going to last. Kasana able to take a very simple kill for himself and the Beastmaster. Going right into the helm of the Overlord build as well, so not changing too much up with the Beastmaster build. Just going straight in for the classic build up, and I can't quite blame him with the start they've had. Once you have that Overlord up, there's just no slowing you down.
Yeah, there's really not too much to stop you. I mean, the Dominator is probably not going to feel as good into the Mirana if the arrow does constantly connect. At the same time, it does feel like Alpha probably need the arrow as follow-up stun instead of creep clearing. So you really don't have too much to worry about for Kasane. Once that pacing is up, these objectives just start to melt. He's already applying a ton of pressure up top with just a creep wave shoving in. There's no one to really stop him. He's level 7 now on the Beastmaster as well. Like, it just doesn't feel like Alpha at this moment has too much play available. The lanes just haven't gone according to plan, and I just gotta wait for some levels up.
They're on to Bryal. He's got a wave up, though. You've got to be cautious about this, because Braxy's the one going down. He's just going to die. White want to take the kill. They can keep going if they really want to. They'll hold back for now. It was an Invis room, by the way, at the top rune spot they were fighting over, but Ari ends up taking it himself on the Rubik. And Bra just, it's really just uncontested on this quad at the moment. Like, they are trying. Takaya going to get Shadow Striked up. And this poison damage is quite infuriating to play against as well, because you're up against the Veno to boot. So you get Shadow Striked into the Poison Sting Gale damage. It's really frustrating to have to play against.
it doesn't feel good to have that much DOTs on hand. There's smoke up onto Kasane here.
Now they're trying. Kasane looking for a roar, does pop it onto the storm and literally just walks away. The most alpha get out of that was a roar and a TP from Whitemon. That was literally it.
Yeah, I don't think you mind too much at all on TSM. You waste a lot of time. You just get back to farming. Whitemon, I mean, he does waste a TP, but at the same time, he is just a Venomancer. It's not the highest priority TP to hold on to. All of your cores are still farming really great here on TSM. Tomato is pretty much just free farming bot. Going for the Echo Saber into the Desolator. Playing tempo. And Alpha, again, like you have this timing you want to hit with your Alk. Radiance is still far ways off, but you can try to keep stalling for that. Although your supports are really suffering right now.
Yeah, Braxy, no way out. Satoshi's TP'd in. I definitely don't believe he can help out at the moment. Maybe he can't die on the Underlord with the Vanguard up, but he certainly cannot help either. So Kasane will just continue pushing out the top lane. At least Satoshi will be able to defend with the Firestorm, but it's kind of like you said. This whole time, Tomato's just freely farming towards that Echo Saber into Desolator. Mid lane is being pushed in right now by Brawl and Ari. And it seems like Alpha just have too much to address in this game one already. Like there's just, every lane has a problem. And they can't really split up right now.
Yeah, they just can't really afford to, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like any of their connections really has panned out. Granted, it's really difficult right now for the Storm to just zip around, get the angles, and maybe set up for the Ari.
Lift is there. Brawl will jump in. Blesskid trying to survive. It's not going to be enough. Zip in though. Still might be able to find a trade. Brawl in trouble. Looking for a blink up, but is not going to be able to get it. Still now. Taking a fair bit of damage on the Storm. Not going to be able to get the kill though, as Whitemon's in trouble. And this should be a Venomancer death. Ari, he's sticking around. Whitemon is okay. Braxy, now the one being chased down, is going to be able to survive. But at least you kill off this quad for your Alchemist. It's not a good trade nonetheless, but at least you get something for your trouble for Alpha.
It's a pretty important kill for Alpha to finally find. Steel's been playing this game on the Storm with his 404 build. So I've been talking about this connection to Mirana, but you didn't even have the Vortex for a very long time. You do at least have the value point now. So it kind of pays off in the sense that you've got some action, you've got some play, you've got some combination, although
he literally just TP'd in and then we're just casually waiting for him. Oh, that's rough. That is very, very rough as TSM now just going to focus down on the bottom tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, Kasane is just taking stacks as we completely expected him to. And the top tier 1 tower was also denied off. Like all tier 1s are going down. 9-1 for TSM. I just don't know how you deal with this Monkey King later. Like once he has the Deso up, by that time you probably should have the Radiance on Blesskid, but that's it's a very slow timing to say the least.
It's not the quickest timing we've seen from an Alk. It's still recovery mode right now for Blesskid. Still pretty far off from even just Sacred Relic, but as long as he keeps getting the room out, eventually the Alk can kind of stand up core to core. It is a lot harder though. I think the Monkey King, as long as he's got Wukongs, will always feel a little bit better. They're hunting down again.
Goodness me.
Yikes.
That was a very quick death.
Whitemon didn't even need to drop the Noxious Plague, but he still does. Yeah. It's like that's maybe a little bit too much commitment. You know,
they even found
send a message.
They even found his courier, the Alchemist courier. It seems like Tomato didn't want to wait for the Sacred Relic to be bought out before he killed it. But then again, it's not like the Alk can even get to that area of the map right now as they're jumping in on Steel, and look at the damage. How quickly this man goes down to a couple of spells from TSM. Jump in again to Kaya. I mean, they've got the Sonic Wave up. The Moonlight Shadow was popped to try and protect them from the damage flying out from Bryle. And TSM, they're just roaming the map. They're just happy to try and force a fight right now. No need not to.
They've got control in the game. No need to stop that pressure hold.
Yeah, bless kid. Gonna charge up the stun. Will land it. Gale is there. They've committed the Fiend's Gate as well. They really need to help out this Alchemist, but it feels like you're giving more away. They're all coming in.
Oh my god.
Oh, get out. Satoshi, no, he's not making it. I mean, at least Kasane dies top lane. Still finds a Beastmaster. But, oh, you lost your Alchemist and your Underlord bottom lane. Almost losing to Kyra on top. And now the TPs are incoming. Still's got no mana. He's got enough for one zip. And then it's pretty much death for him. Look at the damage. Yeah. Tomato's literally doing too much damage. Still, he'll pop the zip. Bye-bye, Still.
Yeah.
Brawl finds Takai mid anyway.
Yeah, you catch up to that cheeky Mirana kill that escapes you down bot. I mean, everything's just going to plan for TSM. Very clean game coming out from them. For Alpha, I mean, they've just not been able to connect with their strong points. It does feel like the lanes don't go out the way you'd probably want to here. Blessed Kid is getting soloed by Whitemon just a little bit.
Oh boy. Yeah, he's certainly, that's a lot of damage from a Venomancer. I mean, he lost over half his HP while he had Chemical Rage going.
Yeah, it's not something you normally see. I mean, this is a lot of space Whitemon's creating just by himself in typical Whitemon fashion.
That's why I think the hero is very strong, right? Because Plague Wards have always been good, but you can literally just push lanes like this. Like, if somebody doesn't address these Plague Wards, the creep wave's never making it past. They do a lot of damage.
They do. And he is going for the good old Solar Crest build-up as well. So maybe wishing he was playing a Pause 5 Clinks here, Whitemon. It does feel that way, right? Somewhat.
Why not? He'll have the chance one day, I'm sure. Takaya. Double slows up. One lead charge left. I don't know if he's going to make it out. The poison is still going. Still trying to help, but cannot. The only thing you could have done is just help Takaya by denying him. And nobody does that.
It's at this point, then we're on full.
It's a lot of damage here, John. Down the strike gonna land. Satoshi gonna pop the Crimson. The roots are there onto the MK. Satoshi is still just being chased down, though. Tomato's not stopping. Maybe they can kill him off with the kisses. Wukon's command is there, though. Braxy's just dropping. And Steel is gone a boot. Oh, Alpha, they just have not caught a break this game one. TSM proving to be way too strong. Onto the tier 2 top tower they go with the Helm of the Overlord. And it's going to be a very quick process.
There's again, just not much stopping them. I like that Alpha's at least trying to play with the Vortex into kisses. Without something like the arrow follow through, it just feels pretty rough in trying to get that done. And now you've got that early Roche opportunity for TSM with that Deso up. It's not going to take too long with the attack speed you are getting as well from the good old Ancient Thunderhide with Frenzy. Motto's got the output. Alpha can't really contest. I mean, they're just not in a position where they can even think about that. They're still trying to catch up on Blessed Kid. Kaya for Steel is still a ways off as well. Like, this Storm is just not in a position where it even has some of its early items to help it zip around the map. Just way too slow of a start again. Every lane from TSM just executed brilliantly, and this kind of draft from Alpha just does not enjoy playing from behind. You don't have that much playmaking on your two supports with just the Storm to follow through. It feels like you need more.
Blessed Kid sticking around, farming the triangle, trying to get out in time. Tomato just bursts in with the Boundless Strike. I mean, they'll jump in. They'll take out the Aegis at the least, but this is going to cost them so much. Satoshi just trying to get out of there in time. He will make it through the Fiend's Gate at least. All they managed to get out of that was the Aegis. As now Takaya's gone a boot. 3 down for the price of nothing, really. As Tomato make that 4. Satoshi gets caught.
Yeah, they follow through the gate. You're not safe just by the tier 3s. If that was the fountain, perhaps, you would have found an opportunity. Instead, they just get more kills. 22-2 here for the side of TSM. very close to some magical numbers here, Mike. A
Oh, it
reverse
certainly
number.
is. But how are they going to find the third kill? That's my
Whitemon runs
question.
in.
Well,
No,
right.
Whitemon's the agent. It's
Go
him.
on, Whitemon.
He knows.
Do everyone a favor. He probably hasn't realized, because Whitemon is the kind of guy that would do it. He would just literally
would.
walk in.
Whitemon's always. He's a funny bloke, this guy.
Yeah.
He's a very interesting fella, Mr. Matthew Philemon. Unfortunately, he's not being. They're in serious mode. You know, we talked about this, right? Like TSM, take that loss versus Shopify, wakes them up. Maybe no memeing around this tour.
No. No memes indeed. I don't think Moonmian is going to have it after that first series. I'm very sure of that. As mid lane, jump in. I'm not sure what the idea was from Bleskin.
Yeah, maybe just trying to farm. Even a step forward is a step too much. And, well, this is the slow and steady push from Veno now.
Ari just casually stunning himself, no problems. Satoshi taking way too much damage from Brawl. Is going to kind of lock him down with the pin of balances. But TSM just going to go after the racks. There's just no need to force a fight. Like, you've got such quick push that there's nothing else required of TSM here but to push the bottom racks through. And maybe just head to the mid if you really want to. But it seems like they're going to play conservatively. Go after the Tormentor first instead. Just take everything away from Alpha. You can even stay for another 30 seconds and take the Wisdom Rune if you really want to. But TSM, it looks like they're just going to back off. Go for their own Tormentor now as well. Why not?
And just go for all the objectives, go for the safe plays. Whitemon will bail himself out from dying, and he does get his shard going. Did you find pretty much everything you'd want? Latent Toxicity is a pretty fun spell still to have. So even more utility coming out here from Whitemon. For Alpha side, they're going for a Manta build on Blessed Kid, which is fair, I suppose, when you're up against a Quap and a Venomancer to an extent. There is some good spells to take away from you to prevent the kite around. You're still a little bit too underfarmed on the Alk. Not even a farm parity for the Alk right now. So a disadvantage for Alk is pretty painful to play into. This here just needs a lead. And it'll still take some time for that lead to appear. Full Kaya up on Steel. So our Storm should have a bit more impact. I still want to see Alpha make this connection with Storm, Mirana, and Snap.
Oh, Satoshi. Oh. You can't walk up like that. Not right now, you can't. The Brile has been Vortex, but he just doesn't care. Look at the jump in. Look at the damage being pumped out. It's too much. Now the kisses from Ari. The Rubik's Cube's just flying in. Onto the tier 3 mid tower they go. There's just nothing to stop them. The only thing that can stop TSM right now is a GG call, John. And I think it should be coming pretty soon.
It does feel that way, Mike. Not seeing it just yet from Alpha, trying to play this one out. Nah, they call it.
They call it.
Right, that's to say that. They call it. It's a little bit of a tough game for the side of Alpha. Like, this is definitely not an easy matchup. They look like a much more improved team in their game up against SKG, but up against a Div 1 veteran.